Hey everybody, Weston here, back with another Deck Tech video. And today we've got a pretty uncommon commander. We have Frodo and his legendary companions. This is going to be a more casual bracket 2 deck. We do have 3 tutor cards technically in the deck. We have Stoneforge Mystic, War of the Last Alliance, and Ranger of Eos. Let's get straight into it. Our commander is Frodo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings set. He is a 1/3 for 1 green and 1 white, and he says whenever Frodo Baggins or another legendary creature enters the battlefield under your control, the ring tempts you. As long as Frodo is your ring bearer, it must be blocked if able. So the ring tempts, I will put the token on screen here next to Frodo quick. But what the ring tempts does is give 4 different abilities as it goes. You select a ring bearer each time the ring tempts you, so you can reset select the same one. So the first level for the ring tempts you says that the creature cannot be blocked by creatures with greater power. The second mode on the ring is whenever it attacks, you loot, you draw a card, and discard a card. The third one is if it was blocked by another creature, the opponent sacrifices that creature. And then the last one is if it hits, everybody gets to lose some life off of it. This deck is going to be revolving around Legends Matter and Voltron. Our goal is to get in a lot of little legends, and also to suit up our Frodo Baggins and start beating face with this tiny little hobbit and have him destroy your opponents like he destroyed the One Ring. So let's get straight into our creatures, shall we? We have a lot of classic Commander cards as well as some newer favorites in Commander. We'll start off with Adeline. She is a 3-drop that creates 1/1 white human tokens, and her power is equal to the number of creatures you control. She has vigilance, and when you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. It's there to make people. Something you'll notice about all of the creatures in this deck is that there are maybe, I think, technically 2 4-drops if you count the backside of Redain as a 4-drop. We have Aragorn, which is a Ring Tempts Matters card, and it says whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Aragorn, so you're going to be choosing Frodo, company leader, as your ring bearer, you put your choice of a counter from among First Strike, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink on Aragorn. And when you put one or more counters on Aragorn, you put one of each of those kinds of counters on up to one other target creature. I actually really want to sometime brew a deck with Aragorn here, making him like a various counters matters commander. But his goal here is to kind of be utility. Use the ring tempts to get counters on him to load up your Frodo and some of your other legendaries. Then we have Arwen, Mortal Queen, and when Arwen, Mortal Queen, enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it, and you pay 1, remove an indestructible counter from Arwen. Another target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Put a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature, and a 1/1 counter and a lifelink counter on Arwen. We have Boromir. He makes it so whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent on it, counter that spell. Can protect you from things like Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Swat, etc. And if you sacrifice him, your creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn, and the ring tempts you. So you get 2 tempts off of him. We got Codsworth. He gives your commanders Ward 2. Has you be able to mana dork for double white for equipment and auras. And, you can tap him to attach an aura or equipment you control to target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. We have Faramir. If a creature At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control, draw a card. And whenever the ring tempts you, you can choose somebody other than him to get a 1/1 white soldier. We have Farmer Cotton. You tap X and 2, and you create a whole bunch of halfling creature tokens and food. We've got one of the other 2 Frodos in here. One of the other 3 Frodos in here. There's lots of Frodo in this set. And when he enters the battlefield or attacks, you may attach target equipment you control of mana value 2 or less, or 2 or 3, to Frodo. And as long as it's your turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Frodo. We have a very classic card, Gaddig Teeg. So since most of the cards in this deck are going to be 3 or less, Gaddig Teeg is mostly safe. He only shuts off a couple cards in your in the whole deck. So the value you're getting of being like a weenie deck while your opponents can't cast really big spells is pretty good. So non-creature spells that convert a mana cost 4 or greater can't be cast, and non-creature spells with X in their mana cost can't be cast. This is, wait a second, with the vehicle change, this actually seems really, really strong because vehicles aren't a creature unless you crew them. So this could just shut off a legendary vehicle of converted mana cost 4 or more. Interesting. Didn't think of it that way till just now. We learned something together. We've got King Darien. He makes your creatures bigger. He can make some soldiers. And he's like Boromir. You can sacrifice him to give your stuff hexproof and indestructible. We have Kodama of the West Tree. Whenever a modified creature you control deals combat damage, search your library for a basic land and put it on the battlefield tapped. We have Kutzil. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, and whenever one or more creatures you control with power greater than its base power, deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. So Frodo, when he's at a 1, you're going to pump him. Legolas can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. He gets bigger with legendary creatures, and he draws a card if he deals combat damage. We got Lyndon. Then one of the 2 or 3, I can't remember if it's 2 or 3, I think it's 3, Kamigawa cards we have in here. The original Kamigawa had some very interesting cards. I don't see this card ever get played, and I like it. You may play Masako, the Humorless, anytime you can play an instant, so it has Flash. And this card came out before Flash was a keyword. And tapped creatures you control may block as though they were untapped. So attack with your giant Frodo after he's suited up and still block with him. Malira, the Living Cure. Randomly, if your opponents have poison, pretty good because you get less poison counters. And you can also return a creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. Danitha, she makes your aura and equipments cheaper, and she has First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink. Peregrine Took, Rage Reveals, Redain. You all know by now from enough of my deck techs, I really like Volkmira. I think it's an underrated card. And Redain can also be pretty good. Reiki, whenever, or Rekai, I think it's Reiki. Reiki. Whenever you play legendary spell, draw a card. Since it's a Legends Matter deck, you're going to be drawing a lot of cards. We have Runetail, Kitsune Ascendant. Hey, look, it's one of the early types of flip where you just flipped it upside down. When you have 30 or more life, flip, so it'll check if you do anything. It will check and immediately flip if you are at your starting life total. And you prevent all damage that would be dealt to creatures you control. We have Samwise Starthouted. He returns a permanent from the graveyard to the battlefield and tempts you. You got Skrelv. He gives your stuff hexproof from a color. Stoneforge Mystic to tutor up your equipment. Thalia for some light stacks. And Yoshimaru, because everything's legendary, so may as well make Yoshimaru good. For sorceries, we're running 2 Wrath of Gods. We have Starfall Invocation and Battle of Bywater. Battle of Bywater shouldn't hit most of your creatures. We also have Now for Wrath, Now for Ruin, which is put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. They gain Vigilance, and then the Ring Tempts you. Then we're running 3 ramp cards. We're running Harvest Season, and then the Ring Goes South, and Tempt with Discovery. All right. For instance, we have Flare of Fortitude to protect our creatures. We have Heroic Intervention to protect our creatures. And then we have creature removal in the forms of Path and Swords. And then we have Return to Dust, which is a classic commander card, which has kind of fallen by the wayside, but I still think it's pretty good. And in a Bracket 2 deck, it should be just fine. For artifacts, we have a lot, most of which is equipment. So let's go through them. We have Anduril, Narsil Reforged. It has Ascend, and whenever equipped creature attacks, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. If you have the City's Blessing, put 2 1/1 counters on each creature you control. We have Basilisk Color to give Death Touch to the lifelink. We have Bitterthorn, Nissa's Animist, which has Living Weapon, and it lets you get basic lands when it attacks. Bloodforged Battle Axe gives +2/+0, and when it deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of it. So Frodo, with the Ring Tempting, he's a 1 to start out. He should be able to get through 1 or 2 times, get your Battle Axe. Then he has to be blocked, and you can start smashing with that. Crown of Gondor buffs your creature and gives you the Monarchy, which is pretty cool. Then we have Sword of Hearth and Home to blink a creature and ramp some mana. Lightning Greaves, Trailblazer's Boots, so that way if the enemy has non-basics, and by that I mean when the enemy has non-basics, it can't be blocked. Masterwork of Ingenuity, copies and equipment. Mithril Coat, Morgul Knife, aka Shadow Spear. Pip-Boy 3000, which is a good utility equipment. It's cheap, lets you loot, lets you put a counter on, and lets you untap 2 lands. Sword of the Animist lets you ramp a card. And then Swiftfoot Boots and Short of Light and Shadow. We have mana rocks in here as well, like Soul Ring and Arcane Signet, and then Emerald Medallion to help out with mana. And we have Stone of Eric for Graveyard Hate. For enchantments, we'll go over some standouts here. I love the background. So Flaming Fist, commander creatures you own have. Whenever this creature attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn. And Master Chef, commander creatures you own have this creature enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. And other creatures you control also do that. And then we have Flowering of the White Tree. I also really like this card. I wish it got played more. Legendary creatures you control get +2/+1 and have Ward 1, and non-legendary creatures get +1/+1. We have Over Encumbered. Lets an opponent make a clue, food, and junk, and then they have to pay 1 for each artifact. If they don't, they can't attack, which if somebody's playing a lot of artifacts like mana rocks and stuff, they either have to tap them down or it's like a weird Ghostly Prison effect. We have War of the Last Alliance, which is what searches for a legendary creature, puts it in your hand, and then the last mode is give your creatures double strike. For lands, we're running 34, which is a little low, but our CMC is very low in this deck. We have Horizon Canopy, Minas Tirith for flavor, Grey Havens in the Shire, again, for flavor. Tyrant Sanctum instead, so you can make your Frodo a god and make him indestructible, which sounds pretty fun. Rogue's Passage, so Frodo can't be blocked. Yeah, so the game plan here, as you can probably tell, is to dump a bunch of these like little cheap utility legends onto the battlefield, tempting, and then suiting up Frodo, and then starting to pick off your opponents one by one, going with the biggest threats first. Well, I thank you all for watching. As always, please let me know what I could do better. If I'm doing something right, also probably let me know that, so that way I don't randomly stop doing it. As always, I will put the link to the deck list in the description, and when it goes live, at some point I'll get the pinned comment in there, so that way it's also in there. If you want to see me build a specific deck out of a specific commander, just hit the comments, or send a message to me, or what's it called on Blue Sky? Blue Skying? Zeet, I think is it? Or Skeet? Something like that? I don't know. Reach out to me in the comments or anything like that, or in the Discord, and let me know what commander, your budget, cards you want in, cards you don't want in, and the bracket, and I'll get that done for you. Well, thank you everybody for watching. Again, this has been The Hidden Gibbon with Weston, and I'll see you all in the next Deck Tech video.